I know the Republicans said that the smoking gun were these financial records that you were able to subpoena and got your hands on. They show that some of the president's relatives were paid more than $10 million from foreign sources between 2015 and 2017. And your party, the Republican investigators, say that that's proof of influence peddling by Hunter and James. But that's just your suggestion. You don't actually have any facts to that point.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Kentucky Republican James Comer took a licking but kept on ticking on a morning episode of Fox and Friends.
And the other thing is, of all those names, the one person who didn't profit is there's no evidence that Joe Biden did anything illegally.
Comer was probably expecting a friendlier environment being on Fox, but Steve Doocy put the Kentucky polecat on a hot seat and turned up the temperature. Comer has spent the last 5 months making wild allegations about the Bidens, trying to connect them to some kind of Ukrainian conspiracy. Abby Lowell, a lawyer for Hunter Biden, said that Comer's so-called revelations are retread, repackaged misstatements of perfectly proper meetings and business by private citizens. James Comer looked like he'd been kicked by a mule when Steve Doocy confronted him about his shenanigans. You don't actually have any facts to that point. You've got some circumstantial evidence. And the other thing is, of all those names, the one person who didn't profit, there's no evidence that Joe Biden did anything illegal.
Well, if you look at the laptop and the emails between the president's son and his associates, they went to great lengths to hide Joe's involvement. They even gave him nicknames. They called him the Celtic and the big guy. But make no mistake, Joe Biden was involved.
Even being hit head on with the truth, Comer continued to recite more circumstantial nonsense for an additional minute. He rambled on about foreign policy benefiting China to the big guy to shell companies.
Many of these countries were receiving foreign aid that Joe Biden volunteered with the Obama administration to be in charge of. We look now at the Biden presidency. Many of the decisions he's made with respect to China that I would argue put China first and America last would leave most Americans scratching their head. Why would any president do this? So we know that the complexity of the way the Bidens set these shell companies up were made to try to disguise not only the money they were receiving, but also Joe's involvement.
Comer has been like a circuit-riding preacher on the morning talk shows, peddling the same moronic garbage about Hunter's laptop and money trails that don't exist. The results of this big GOP investigation into President Biden and Hunter Biden turned up nothing. But the Kentucky Fried Jackaloon insisted that we're going to move forward with Plan B.
We're going to move forward with Plan B, and it's unfortunate that we have to do this.
Congressman, what's Plan B?
Well, stay tuned, Maria. You'll be the first person that'll know, I can assure you.
When asked what Plan B was, Comer just laughed and said, "Stay tuned." Truth is, he has no Plan B. He and the Republicans don't have anything on the Bidens. If Comer wants to find a controversy, he should look in his own backyard. The GOP are enriching themselves in Kentucky, robbing the second poorest state in the nation. Comer's pathetic plan is to throw mud at the Bidens until the election is over. His Plan A didn't pass the credibility test, and his Plan B is just more of the same moronic propaganda. James Comer is a lying, conniving little jackaloon that's attached like a tick to the backside of the Republican Party, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.